According to the butterfly effect, the fate of humanity can be changed with a single choice. In other words, it's a ridiculously messed up phenomenon, at least for our protagonist. That's because, so far, he's made several life decisions he regrets. Someone on the other side of the door calls out for love, and asks if he's listening. The person says they came all the way there because they know he's inside, so he better open the door. They've already talked to Ophelia from the House of Masters, and know the boy doesn't have any classes today. The person keeps insisting, while the protagonist mutters that there's no worse stalker than this one. Suddenly, the person says, "Alright then," and stabs the door, announcing they're going to break in. The boy is obviously terrified of this crazy woman. She starts slicing up the door while he protests that this is against the rules. The student council president should be the one punishing people for this kind of thing. However, she just smashes through the door and says that, unfortunately, she is the president. As she steps inside, she asks why he always keeps exactly 32 meters away from her. Our boy is horrified that this lunatic is actually measuring the distance. Now we get a better look at her. She's got a little hat, bright red lips, and silver hair. This girl reminds me of his death from Akamuji, a kill with charm, confidence, and a bit of mischief. She asks him when he's finally going to marry her, but suddenly, another voice in the room questions what the princess is talking about. A girl with a cat-shaped pocket watch on the windowsill wants to know if this is really how her family works. The protagonist recognizes the cat girl as Sarah's. Eleanor scoffs, saying that this place is far too bright for an assassin to appear. She didn't want any witnesses seeing what she and he were about to do, so Sarah should just leave. However, Sarah's, sticking out her tongue, retorts that killing witnesses is exactly her job as a princess. Our poor protagonist just stands there, saying he feels incredibly uncomfortable with this whole situation. He never even considered marriage, so what are they even talking about? Then suddenly, the ceiling explodes. Another badass has arrived, folks. The two girls glare at the newcomer while our boy wonders why Lilu is here now too. This girl's got swag. She even has a tribal tattoo on her thigh. She tells our boy that it's time for him to start living with her. All the preparations for the wedding have been made, so he just needs to hurry up and go. But before anything else happens, another girl with black hair gets a chain thrown into her karateka style, while she's in the middle of asking DOD why he's always surrounded by a bunch of snobs. Man, this cast is stacked. And now, a mischievous little witch appears, wondering why there are so many jealous women here. Dodd Campbell has belonged to her for a long time. Her name is Fingal. Now they're all staring each other down. One says this has turned into a competition, the other calls her delusional. Obviously, these women all want to kill each other. And just like that, the battle begins with our poor boy standing in the middle, completely lost. The real question though is, how did things get to this point? Our protagonist seems to start remembering everything that's happened. From the moment Elmore proposed to him, that's when he starts talking about the survival game that got him into this mess. The game was called Savior in Ascension, or just S.A. for short. Anyone looking at the game for the first time would think it's some weird trash. But our protagonist had already beaten the game and seen the ending. He thought it was perfect, fun, and totally worth it. But then, he got transported into the game the next day. This confuses him because he has no interest in changing the story. He doesn't hate the developer, and he isn't that attached to the protagonist for something like this to happen either way. He now inhabits the body of Dodd Campbell, someone who has absolutely no power. He's the heir of some random viscount from a desolate, third world town. The Campbell territory is all about farming. There aren't even dungeons in the entire place. On top of that, they were barely even mentioned in the original story. And that's exactly why the son of this viscount, upon entering the Imperial Academy, turned that world upside down. Our boy waves goodbye to his father, saying that he's heading out now. The father, emotional, tells him that he truly is the pride of their land. He warns him not to cause any trouble and to be careful because Elfincy Academy is where most of the nobles gather. All he wants is for his son to keep a low profile. The boy nods, saying he understands. At this moment, Dodd Campbell has F rankings in all his stats. No skills, no mastery, no special talents whatsoever. Even as a veteran player who has read countless stories, he is genuinely horrified to see that this character has absolutely nothing. The main quest at this point is to enter the academy and get assigned to a class, and he knows very well that according to the game's system, if you ignore the quests, you die. On top of that, Elephant Academy will soon fall into complete chaos due to civilian uprisings, but our boy has no intention of doing anything that puts his survival at risk. He assures his father that he'll do his best not to draw any attention. He won't even dream for a second about trying to improve the reputation of their town. His father is a bit taken aback. Was that really necessary? Our boy adds that his grades will also stay below average, just to make absolutely sure no one notices him. His father sighs and tells him he should just get going. And man, in the next scene, we see Elner entering the school like a walking disaster waiting to happen. On the train ride there, he keeps thinking, even as a protagonist, avoiding attention is all I want to do. He's been lonely his whole life, and that's exactly how he plans to be at the academy too. The problem now is he wants to know why. Right from the start he's in the same carriage as her, and not just anyone. Her nickname isn't exactly friendly. Elner the Bloodthirsty, a woman who, with this young age, had already built a mountain of corpses beneath her. The truth is, she's the final boss of this world. As the game progresses, she and the protagonist keep fighting as her sanity crumbles. That's when the dormant existence of the Grey Demon devours her body. Man, whether she's demonized or just healthy, she's still terrifying. While he's lost in thought, she suddenly asks if he needs a doctor. His face looks pretty pale, a bit out of it. He mutters that he's fine like this. She apologizes for intruding, and explains that her kingdom wants to show their friendly people. That's why they placed her in his carriage, to show that they mix with others. As she talks, he's a bit stunned. She is very different from how he remembers her in the story. In the game, she was described as extremely meritocratic, perfectionist, and audacious. So why does she seem a little soft right now? Eleanor asks why he isn't responding. Is he curious about something? Still a bit stiff, he says it's nothing. He's just impressed by how kind she is. She stands up immediately. Who's been talking badly about me? Ah, shit, he shouldn't have said that. Trying to fix his mistake, he says he heard she was a bit strict. Elner gives him a look. They're kind of weird. He just sighs. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Once again, he reminds himself that he needs to act like an extra and not get involved with this person. The plan now is simple. Just stare at the trees outside until they reach the academy, and never speak to her again. But right then, a rock comes flying toward the window. It's about to hit him straight in the head. At that moment, he lunges toward Elmore and the train explodes in the middle. The necklace Elmore wears has a recognition-based protection spell, something our protagonist knows very well. The best option for survival? A nice warm hug. Sorry about this, he thinks, but I wasn't gonna survive this with F-rank stats. Sometime later, Elner asks if he's okay. He says yes, while lying on something very soft. When he opens his eyes, she's looking at him like she doesn't really care all that much. The idiot scrambles up, about to apologize, but Elner obviously assumes he was trying to save her. She says she's never seen a man as genuinely honest as him. She thanks him for his intentions, so there's no need to apologize. Our boy is beyond flustered, because honestly, he only jumped on her to use her armor's protection. But now, she's completely misunderstood. She stands up and asks for his name. And now, he knows he's screwed. If he tells her, then every time they meet, they'll end up interacting. Avoiding her would be impossible. But at the same time, there's no way he can trick a woman this sharp. So he just sighs and says it. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for the next part. Let's crush our 100 like goal. Your support keeps this going. If you want the next part, type next part in the comments.